Welcome back, welcome back. We also want to let people know that after we talk with Russ Morgan, we have Marty Burlsworth here. He's here to talk about an event.
The Burlsworth football camps.
Yeah, we'll talk to him right after this interview. But right now we have with us in the studio Russ Morgan, and he's the owner of Little Bell Chapel, and he moved here back in, was it the 60s?
Yep, back in the 60s.
Back in the 60s. And you moved here from Florida and wore Bermuda shorts and sandals, and people wanted to run you out from the day you moved here. Is that right?
Why? Were you controversial?
Well, you even ran for mayor at one time.
Well, you know, you had to have steel-toe shoes back then wherever you worked. You know, sandals just didn't get it.
Well, how you been these days?
Good. Getting better all the time.
Yeah, I like to bring Russ on every now and when I see him, because he gave me an opportunity when I first moved here. I was 18 years old and moving from Ohio and didn't have any money, and Russ hired me as a photographer and darkroom assistant, and that's the days when photography was photography.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It wasn't
package
digital
shutters and
Yeah. Now he had an old camera in his studio. I don't know. It must have been from the 1800s.
might have been.
I think it was one of these big, and you put the film in it, and you slide
Put the
and
slides in.
Oh my gosh! And you did a lot of portraits back then, and I just love that old camera. But those days are all gone, and you have moved and established a business called the Little Bell Chapel, and it's out in Bellfonte.
Yeah,
And you've had that for 20 plus years, have you not?
Actually, we're in our 35th year
35th
now.
Oh, my
year.
goodness.
Wow.
See,
Wow.
when we started, it was just going to be a 10-year program.
Yeah.
And it just took off. It keeps going. And now we might be looking for an exit plan, but I don't know. We'll see how long it wants to go.
Yeah.
So when you started that, tell us about what prompted you to do that.
There is a chapel in Nashua, Iowa. And you've ever heard those little hymnals, come, 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 little brown church in the wild?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's the story about that chapel,
Okay.
Little Brown Church. And it's a wedding chapel. Started in the 20s by, I think it was Reverend Oswald. Didn't get going for about 20 years, till the 40s. And it's been going good ever since.
And you like that idea? You like the concept?
Well, as a photographer, you can only do so many weddings a day, travel between,
Right,
and
sure.
the
Right.
times have to be good. And sometimes I was lucky I might be able to do 3 weddings on a Saturday, but most of the time it's a lot of travel. And
Yeah.
it was just easier to get them to come to me rather than it was to do that. That's one of the concepts. But the main concept was we started that the year after Princess Di had her multi-million-dollar wedding.
Okay.
And I could see people spending a lot of money in their industry. Now, I mean, there's good intentions, but sometimes weddings just get out of hand. The average now is well into $20,000.
Oh, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
average. And we're not talking about the $50,000, $75,000, $110,000 stuff that goes on. $8,000 wedding dress has a purpose. They quote that to Dad. He about faints. And, but then a $1,500 wedding sounds like a deal. Oh, I'll take the $1,500
Sure,
one.
yeah.
You bet.
When he shouldn't even be thinking about the $1,500 one either. And so it was very trendy. People spending more money, more money, more
Yeah.
money. And if you've got the money, hey, go for it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you shouldn't be going in debt for it.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's the principle that we built the chapel
So
on.
you have a full encompassing facility
We
that
can,
does the whole thing.
well, we don't rent the tuxedos. We don't sell the dresses. But we do services. And some people think the cake is the most important part of a wedding because they make cakes.
Yeah.
Somebody that's in the dress business naturally thinks, hey, the dress is
Oh,
the
absolutely,
most thing. Save it in nitrogen forever, and then you can wear it later, or your daughter can wear it, or keep it in the bouquet, save it, save. You got all this wedding stuff saved in your sock drawer, which you're wondering, what's it doing in here?
Yeah.
But I think the service really is one of the most important parts of a service.
Sure it is.
And I can see that trend moving in toward that area. And sometimes we try to make services not the same thing. Because even in a presentation, you can't say the same thing over and over and over again, you lose your own
Oh,
feeling
absolutely,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so that takes variations that, in time and place and what's going on. And we're more or less a religious orientated wedding chapel as opposed to not.
Do you have any? I mean, I'm sure you're on the internet, so you probably attract people that want to come to this area to get married as a
Kind of a destination,
Yeah,
I
a
guess,
destination.
Well,
if you will.
of course, Branson is our destination spot. I mean, we've tried to compete against Branson with Silver Dog. I mean, what do they
Right.
call
Oh, sure,
it?
yeah.
Dog Patch and so forth, which was semi-successful, but reality moves in. They've just got us out marketed up there.
Oh, sure.
And, you know.
Do you have any? I mean, do you have any unusual stories that you
Well, I can, every once in a while, something will happen. A newspaper will call us up, and they're on a slow news day, and they'll say, anything going on lately? And so I can give them a little tidbit that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all chuckle about it. And, you know, I mean, over the years, we've done linebackers for the Dallas Cowboys and other
Oh,
ball
really?
players out
Okay.
of Kansas City, and some of those guys are those professional players. They have to duck their head to get underneath the door when
Okay.
they come
Oh,
in.
wow.
They're
yeah, that's
pretty
interesting.
good-sized guys.
So you get to see some unusual
Yeah,
people and some unusual stories.
and successes, and you know, and this is one of the things that I think is unusual is that, and it's not noted. It's not they don't keep up with it. Is that we do a pretty good amount of remarriages.
Oh.
These are people that got married, had a situation, got divorced, go through a little readjustment period, they get back and get married again.
I'll be darned.
And not that we do the first one.
Yeah.
If we did the first one, hey, you got a guarantee on that because I come back and we'll do it all over again and there's no card on it, you know, okay? But now the people that have got married somewhere else, gone through this situation, they want to do a service, but they don't want to spend a lot of money, but at the same time, it's a very special time in their lives.
Sure.
But probably close to 10% of the services I do are remarriages for other
I'll be
people.
darned.
Interesting.
And that's a pretty good amount of percentage-wise that we're not aware of. And sometimes they have more friends and family, and you know, the
Yeah,
dad will say,
yeah.
"I know that you guys, you only have 3 sons." That you say, "I know you guys like to take after Dad, but let me tell you, don't do it my way this time. Stay with it the first
Right,
time."
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it touches them, you know.
Yeah. You were telling me a story the other day about an Oriental couple or an Asian couple that came in.
That they came to me out of state, and they had actually had met in China, and they were Chinese, met in China at the university, and they wanted to get married, and so they did, or I don't know if they did
Yeah.
before they graduated or after they graduated, but they got married.
They got married in China. Yeah.
And after they finished in the university and so forth, they migrated to the United States. And both got pretty successful job. I think one was in biology, the other was in finances somewhere, but it's above the normal curve
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
employment. And they got so Americanized, after 10 years, they got a divorce.
I'll be darned.
And,
Wow.
but after a year or so, they decided that this wasn't going to work out for them. And
It wasn't going. The divorce wasn't going to work out.
that's right. They
wanted
said
to-
that we need to get back together. And so they came down to Harrison, and we did a wedding for them. And it's
So
you
you're
know,
ordained.
It's a real, you know, yeah.
Okay.
And
I mean,
so
you perform the.
service, it was pretty neat. But it was a good wedding for them.
Yeah.
The one of the things I've discovered lately is if I take a little bit more extra time, I've been lately moving toward talking a little bit more, asking questions in the service itself. Oh, by the way, you know, and a lot of times I'll ask them, now the date, how did you meet, you know, and
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
say, oh, how long ago when you first met, or on the internet, or how, or school, or what.
Yeah.
And then ask them about, when you first started dating, did you all go on a walk of any kind? And buddy was, oh yeah, sometimes they'll say, oh sure. I'll say, now these first walks are really, really memorable, invigorating, empowering, I guess is a good word, because you can be lacking in looks and physique or whatever, but all of a sudden
That
you're
connection.
5'5",
Oh, yeah.
you're 6 feet tall now with a girl on your arm walking along. What's amazing about these times is that every once in a while, it might be you, it might have been her, somebody will sort of bump or nudge the other one as they're doing this walk. And some of them will just look at each other and start laughing because the other one got tripped, or I remember him bumping me, that's right, or oh no, she's the one that bumped me first, and then they'll decide and they'll talk about this little nudge that they do, and then we'll go ahead and talk about other things, because I'll have some couples, when I do that with them, they say they never bumped. Well, we didn't bump.
We didn't do any
We
bumping.
didn't do it.
Okay.
And so I said, well, that's great. That's fantastic. Because now you've got something to look forward to. And I'll go ahead and do the rest of the wedding. And in about a month, somebody will call me and say, hey, Russ, we did that bump. Pretty good stuff. But I bring up at the end of that what we're actually doing at that moment is something called going down memory lane. And you're laughing, and she's laughing, and you're having a good time, and you remember that little bump or nudge that you got. But we call it going down memory lane. But for some reason, a lot of people, when they get married, they start forgetting to go down memory lane as often. And we encourage them to do that again and again and again to keep the marriage fresh.
Sure.
You
So it
bet.
has a
Sure.
purpose in bringing them into doing that type of thing.
You bet.
And but I did have that it was just about 2 months later, I had that occasion to do that Chinese wedding I was telling you about. And guess what?
What?
They do the bump in China too.
That's
I
good.
thought that was just really rounded that thing off for me.
Well, that's
You
neat.
bet.
And so
That's neat.
that's pretty
That's
neat.
cool. Well, you're still in the business.
Oh yeah.
You still
yeah.
do your weddings.
And
Do you? Is it by appointment only, or is it?
Well, we advertise a 24/7 type of service.
Oh, for a quick wedding? I mean.
Well, it's not. Some people, they're trying to get it done, but the boys, they've got children and all these
Okay,
other
so yeah.
arrangements, and they say, it's going to be sometime in May, can you do it,
Oh, so-
well,
okay.
call us ahead of time, tell us
Okay.
you're on your way or something, but most of ours are
So you'll
actually
accommodate
appointments.
them.
Well, we'll try to.
Try to,
I mean,
okay.
now when we had, I call it Saudi 1, when we first did that first routine to go over there at Yemen and that first routine, I mean, we practically had a caravan coming from Tulsa because they told those Marines 5 o'clock, hey, buddy, have your duffel packed. Tomorrow you're leaving 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And
And they
you're on your way over there. And they had weddings planned. They had
Oh, gosh.
children on the way.
Wow,
They had
wow,
all
wow.
sorts of things going on. And they didn't even know if they're coming back. But David,
Sure.
at the time, David Whitty, he stayed down there and cut licenses half the night for people
Wow.
Wow.
into the
Didn't know
night.
that.
And we did weddings all night long.
I'll be darned.
Pretty touching, a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm sure.
Do you have a website? What's the website called?
Littlebell.com.
Littlebell.com. Okay.
You can put some W's in front if you want to, but it's not necessary
Not
anymore.
necessary anymore. Do you do Facebook or?
I really don't follow Facebook that
Okay.
much. I have some people that have put the unofficial Facebook
Right,
kind
right,
of things
right,
on,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
we've
okay.
got something that follows.
Well,
Something
if people
that
are
goes on.
interested, they can
Yeah,
call you.
littlebell.com. LA.
743 BELL
Yeah, 2355.
2355.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that's a good number for us. Of course, there's 870 if this is
Right.
if you're
Eight
regional.
yeah, 870-743
2355.
2355. All right. Well, Russ, good to see you
Thank you
again.
very much.
Good
Thanks for
talking
the
to you.
information. If you're dying to get married and you want to do it at an odd time, make sure it's okay with Russ, and you can
Yeah.
schedule that and go down there and
Yeah.
hitch up and do some bumping.
Well, yeah. Maybe maybe they'll take you down memory lane. I don't know.
Maybe. Good to see you again, Russ.
Good seeing you.
Thank you. Up next, we're going to be talking with Marty Burlsworth. He's got his football camp that's coming up, and we'll be talking to him in just 2 minutes. Stay with us. You are watching 726.